Motorcycle Adventure Dirtbike TV, supported proudly by Adventure Spec in England, Rally Raid Products, Giant Loop in the United States, Adventure Moto in Australia, Adventure Rider Magazine, Pirelli, Botool Oils and RK Motorcycle Chains.
Over the years, Nugget and I have had some cracking motorcycle adventures throughout Australia. From crossing the Simpson Desert, to taking on the tropics and Cape York, to riding the Victorian High Country and the Flinders Ranges, and a heap more. In May of this year, Nugget and I are planning to cross the top end, from Cairns to Darwin. We've been invited by Woody and Ellyse of Ellwood Motorcycle Adventures to come along on their top end crossing. Nugget and I have ridden with Woody before on our Cape York adventure. He is an outstanding tour leader and knows his stuff. We've seen him operate under very challenging conditions, and his leadership and problem-solving skills are exceptional. What attracted Nugget and I to the tour is that it is unsupported, and you are required to carry on your bike everything necessary for the trip. For example, camping equipment, fuel, water, clothing, etc. Now, this tour is scheduled for the 1st to the 10th of May this year, and there are still some spots available for this trip. Now, a word of warning. Before I kick off the interview with Woody and Ellyse, Ellyse has taken some cracking drone footage of this tour that I'll run whilst we're having a chat with them. And if that doesn't get your heart racing to come and join us on this tour, nothing will. Woody and Ellyse, welcome to Mad TV. Great to see you guys.
Having it.
Thanks, Dave.
Excited to be here.
And Nugget and I are really looking forward to this Cairns to Darwin trip. It just sounds fantastic.
Yeah, we decided to run our Cairns to Darwin tour late October last year. We had a full crew. We had a great time. It's a really awesome trip. We've got a full crew again this year coming in May, including you guys. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I love your kind of tour, the way you set up this tour, because you've got to bring your own camping gear. Like you've got to kind of self-sustain yourself. So it's a little bit more rugged than some of the other tour companies that kind of feed you everything.
Yeah, well, that's right. We've got what I've always done is, proper adventure riding on my own time, and I really enjoy it, and I feel like other people would benefit and enjoy from what we do. So we try and make it as much of an adventure ride as we can to a point. So yeah.
Yeah, that the flexibility. I mean, to me, that's the sort of unsupported riding I really enjoy. But for tour companies, normally you are hooked to the support truck, every day or within hours, for lunch or stuff like this. I mean, people have to be, although you're there to help us, people have to still be thinking about sustaining themselves.
Yeah, definitely. And part of our tours is teaching people to be self-sufficient. So, we're really passionate about adventure riding and exploring the country on our own. So, yeah, that's definitely part of our tours is, somebody can be totally new to adventure riding, want to set their own bike up, come along, learn how to navigate, GPS, change a tyre. Yeah, so we are self-sufficient in that regard. And, we want to teach people how to do that as well, so they can go out on their own with their mates.
Ellyse, I'm really excited about that bit because, people wonder how to get into our sport. And this to me, and I notice you appeal to all skill ranges. So that's something we need to really drive home. But, like you've got this net underneath you. If things don't quite go right, you've got this logistics behind you, at a safe distance that makes sure you can't trip over and hurt yourself too much in terms of getting stuck out in the bush and that sort of stuff.
Right. We do have a backup vehicle, which does follow along with to a point with the tour. For the most part, we are by ourselves. We do catch up with it some nights if we are camping out in the bush. We'll catch up with the support vehicle for the night. We'll have a big camp up and cook up. Anyone that needs to do any repairs or maintenance on their bike, we've got the tools and equipment to do that. So it's always in the background, and also in case of emergency or breakdown, we've got support there, to help us.
I think the great thing, I mean, when Nugget and I rode with you last time, the top end is it's a rugged environment, it's a tough environment, and as you were the tour leader for that ride, and thinking ahead, and there'd been a cyclone through, the water was up, and the capacity to be able to reroute the tour to get around an obstacle. That's a great thing of having that self-sufficiency of every person.
Yeah, and that's the thing with adventure riding too, which you've got to be able to adapt and change as things happen. Like the tour can change completely from day to day from the set route if need be because of weather, river crossings, things like that. So you've got to be able to adapt and change to that. So
and Woody is definitely so amazing at that, and thinking on the spot. And I guess anyone that's come on tour with Woody or knows him knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I mean, to impress Nugget, you've got to be pretty flash, and he's passed the test. So that's cool. So Ellyse, tell us about this 10-day tour that we're going to do.
Yeah, so we leave from Cairns, head up through Kuranda Ranges. We head out to Chillago on the first night on the old Burke Development Road. So we see some, really amazing countryside along the Gulf of Carpentaria. In May, it might be a little bit wetter than last year when we did it in October. But Woody and I have actually crossed the Gulf in the wet season. So we definitely know we can get through there. So this year we have hire bikes available. Last year we had, everyone come on their own bikes. In fact, we had half ladies. So I've been involved in the motorcycling industry for quite some time and heavily involved in the women's side of things. And it has exploded in the last, say, 5 years. And to have half women on our adventure riding tour was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So
I think that's an amazing achievement, and the business that it was really a blokes only thing, and as you say, it's booming, and it's really great to see. Yeah, to get 50% attendance of females on your first ride, I reckon that's a wonderful achievement. Normally, on tours it hovers around 2%, less than that. So that's a great achievement.
Great achievement. And we had, we had Tanya Hearn, who has raced in the World Championships before.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She can pretty well do anything that anyone can, change tyres. And then we had, all levels of riders in the ladies. And that's something that I'm passionate about as well, getting more ladies into it, as well as any beginner. And just to be able to be confident to come along and know that it's not something completely out of their league. There's always A and B options. We always, if there is something a little bit more challenging, we wait for everybody, we regroup. It's, we definitely don't leave any man or woman behind, that's for sure.
But that's the thing with it.
Well, we've been getting a lot of couples come along, which is really good. Which we didn't expect. So you can come along with your partner, and that was one thing that we've been getting a lot of, which is really good. So.
Yeah, I think the thing with the adventure riding spirit is, that we don't leave anyone behind, and those that we accept that there's different skill levels, and we give people a hand through obstacles. I mean, that's the nature of the adventure riding community, I think, that's one of the reasons why I love it so much. It's a very positive, helping, supportive environment, and that's great. So so I was having a look at some of your footage there. Just some places there that we're going that just really excite me. Yeah, tell me some of those highlights out of the video.
Yeah, so we head through Lawn Hill National Park, which is so amazing out there. There's some beautiful gorges and waterfalls, and get up really early on the morning. We stay at Lawn Hill and head up through the gorge, up through a beautiful walk up there, hire some canoes, full of freshwater crocs. So you're definitely bound to see a freshwater croc in there and go for a swim. So we head from there to...
Yeah, we head up back onto the Gulf, back up around to the Roper River, Roper Bar area. Into Kakadu, we do Kakadu, which is really bucket list trip for anyone that's coming to Australia or traveling Australia. So that's definitely a highlight.
Matarenka Hot Springs. We go to Bitter Springs. We go through some little Aboriginal towns. Stop in there. It's fantastic out there how quickly the scenery changes, and we go from really dry, barren country to just some amazing, pristine waterfalls and big, freshwater swimming holes. And we visit the Million Acre property at Lorella Springs.
Wow.
So the owners out there are really fantastic, and it's the food out there is fantastic. There's million acres to explore there, so we have maybe half a day to have a look around there. And plenty of water holes. We go through the Lost City, so big rock formations that just go on, and it's amazing out there. Just what you can see ancient history, how it's formed, and just breathtaking.
Oh, I love doing it on a bike. I think it's far better to do it on a bike than bouncing around the four-wheel drive. I reckon.
Definitely.
So much better.
Yep.
So Nugget and I are hiring the mighty DR400, which we've had on this series before. Indestructible. You certainly know your way around them, Woody. A great bike to hire for this, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. There's a couple of reasons why we do hire those bikes and why we do use them. They're indestructible for a start.
They are.
There's not much I haven't seen that have been put through them. We've been able to get them through. They're basic. So when you're out in really remote areas, you've got to be able to fix them. So the carbies, they're still carby.
Yes.
They're easy to fix. They're easy to keep going. They're definitely a bike that gets a lot of bad rap at times, but
no.
And you've ridden one.
And I think it is until you ride one. Like before I went to the Cape York and did a tour with Woody and met him up there, I was the same thing. I raced motocross my whole life and thought, gee, big lounge chair, big yellow submarine, what everyone, refers to them as. And I love them. Like after you ride one and realize, they are so capable. They're forgiving. A lot of the ladies and indestructible, and we can lower them and not compromise the suspension. We figured out a good way of doing that, and they're definitely my bike of choice, that's for sure.
So for I'm just thinking for those less skilled or being introduced to the sport. I mean, one of the tendencies I'd have if they had a GS 800 at home or something like that, you kind of I'd be saying I think you'd just rent the 400 for 10 days. That might be better for them, or you've got go-arounds for people with bigger bikes.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it all depends on people's situation, but there is a lot of people that have these big bikes at home and they don't know how to ride them, they don't know how to go about doing a trip like this on their bike. So there is people that want to come along and learn the ropes on how to maintain their bike and how to use a GPS, how to change a tyre, so they can go out and use their bikes by themselves. So that's what we're trying to help people out with as well whilst on tour. Aside from seeing all these awesome places and doing some amazing riding, we want to teach them a thing or two as well. So
yeah. And I noticed like you're spreading out. So you kicked off your tour company, how long ago now?
Not long.
4 months.
4 months.
4 months ago, yeah. So in that time we've done so Cairns to Darwin for 10 days, which was a huge success, and I think it's going to be one of our definitely top of the list items. We also do short tours in Cairns, so we live in Cairns. We do 1 to 5 day tours there, so you can fly in on holidays, bring absolutely no gear with you, hire a brand new DRZ 400 with all brand new gear, and we can take you out for 1 to 5 days.
And they're trail bike tours.
Bike tours, yep.
Yeah.
We're actually up in the Victorian High Country right now, pre-riding for a 7-day adventure down here starting next weekend. We're also now doing our own Cape York tours. So Woody's been doing those for nearly 10 years now. So us as Ellwood Motorcycle Adventures is starting to we just get inquiries almost daily on Cape York, and it is so popular that a lot of the companies are booked out until almost 2024. So we thought, well, with Woody's experience, why not start something on our own and give it a go?
So what's the name of your company?
Ellwood Motorcycle Adventures. So Elwood is Ellyse and Woody.
Ah, right. Okay, now I get it.
Everyone says, where do you get that from? But Ellyse and Woody, Elwood.
Oh, right. That's brilliant. Yeah, so I'll put up to the viewers the site details and just have a picture of the site there. So, you know, for anyone who's interested. Yeah.
Cool.
So there's one other thing, Ellyse, that's really piqued my interest, and that's your filming. Like you've really got into the drones, and yeah, I'm really inspired by how you shoot. Like it's great stuff.
Yeah, it's it's a lot of hard work, that's for sure. I almost do double the amount of Ks, that everyone else on tour does.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, when everyone stopped having a nice break, I'm riding ahead. I have to get the drone out, set it up, get it in the air, get the contrast right, listen for everyone to come. Once they go, I got to pack it all up, get back on my bike, shoot up ahead. So it's flat out, but I really love it, and I love to be able, for people after they've finished the tour to take these memories home with them and watch them forever.
Well, you're making some cracking memories. I've gone through your video, and I'll be integrating that with this interview, and some of the scenery you've got and how you've captured it is really inspiring. I'm actually looking forward to filming with you. I reckon you're the flashiest drone pilot I've seen out there in terms of just capturing the moment. And I know how hard it is. It's so hard,
It is really hard, but you probably wouldn't have said so much recently. I Black Hawk down recently, but it's I now have the DJI refresh package. So I got a brand new drone ready to rock and roll for the high country. And, it's almost, in some of the places we go, it is almost hard to take a bad picture, but to be able to get the drone up and capture everybody coming through some of these amazing places is definitely something that I really enjoy.
It was quite funny when I spoke to Nugget, and I said, Nugget, you want to come to Cairns? You want to do a ride with Woody and go from Cairns to Darwin? He went, yep.
Oh, good.
When are we doing it? When are we going?
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, Woody and Ellyse, it's great to talk with you today. Yeah, really looking forward to this. Are there still vacancies on this tour at the moment?
Yep. So at this stage, we pretty well have all the high bikes wrapped up at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if there are people still interested in coming along with, and hiring a bike, let us know. There are other options available, but yeah, definitely a few more spots available for anyone who wants to bring their own bike along. And for anyone who wants to get into this sort of adventure riding, I mean, we had a KTM 350 come along last year, all the way up to, a GS 1000 or something like that. They're all different types of bikes, and we can help you set them up. With anything really registerable, anything that's registerable really can be set up to come along pretty much. So we can help you with that as well.
Yeah, we've had a lot of we spend a lot of time in the pre stages of the ride on the phone with people that haven't got their bike set up quite right, their camp gear, all that sort of stuff. So we talk them through what we recommend and what we think would be good for their bike and their style of riding, and help them every step of the way, all the way up until the tour. So yeah.
You took the question out of my mind, because that was the next question I was going to ask you. For apprentices in our sport, that's a great, because that's what I find myself constantly doing on social media is people say, oh, what should I bring, what not to bring, and some of them, they one of the key things is they bring too much.
Exactly.
And you would certainly and you'd certainly give them a lecture about that. I mean, yeah,
I get a lecture about that all the time.
I went with a guy across the desert, and we're at Dalhousie Springs waiting across the desert. It's an unassisted ride, and he's got 3 pairs of jeans.
Yeah.
Like, mate.
Well, I took a 12-volt hair straightener on the first trip we went on.
Oh, get out of it. That's a sin. That's a sin, please.
I didn't use it once either. It was funny. The first time we went out, I took all this stuff. We were going out for 3 months, actually.
Yeah.
So it is quite hard to pack for 3 months. And I took all this stuff. And a week in, the first town we got to, I packed a big box up and sent it all home. Yeah, you really don't need as much as what you think you do. And it's actually, there's some kind of awesome feeling about having minimal on your bike, having everything you need on your bike with you at that one time, and being able to ride wherever you want. It's a really awesome feeling.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many trips and traps and along the way, and I think that's really good that you're accessible prior to the ride to smooth out people's decision making, and just say, well, yeah, no, I wouldn't take I went with another guy in Victorian High Country. He took a camp oven,
Oh, really?
like on the bike, and I'm going,
Yeah.
So no, that's wonderful. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I know Nugget is, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Awesome. Thanks so
No
much for having
worries.
us,
Thanks,
Dave.
Dave.
Yeah, we look forward to riding with you guys.
Yeah, it should be great fun.
Awesome.